And now for something completely different. So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom. Yeah, it is me doing something other than World of Tanks. So I just thought, guys, people get bored. I know I do, playing the same game over and over again. So just a thought occasionally show some of the other games that I've been playing recently, which I think some people might find entertaining. So first up, I mentioned this actually in a game I did, a video I did some time ago, about a completely different topic. But I recently bought Expeditions Viking from Steam, and I've been really enjoying myself. So this is a role-playing game, strategy, turn-based historical game. So you play solo, you don't play against anybody else, it's all AI against you. And it's a good, fun game. I've really enjoyed it. So, just on terms of housekeeping matters for this, cost of this at Steam at the moment is £24.99 for the game. You can buy this deluxe one. I'm not sure why you'd want a soundtrack, an art book, and ice a blood ice. I don't know what that is. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But £25 basically for this game, and is it worth it? Well, I think so. I actually really have been enjoying it, and I'm quite addicted to it. Now, that's not to say it doesn't have a few issues, but we'll address those in a bit. But it's a very, very good game if you like role-playing games. If you like sort of bit like back in my day, they used to do Dungeons and Dragons where you created characters. This is like an online version of that, but with war, fighting, and not quite as intense in terms of keeping up with what's going on as a real-time game, because it's turn-based. For us old timers, it seems a little bit easier to handle, to be honest. Now, one thing I will say about this game, I had all kinds of trouble when I bought it, with it crashing my PC. Now, I haven't got the best PC, but it's okay. Yet this thing just kept crashing every time, and it was literally freezing up my entire computer. Now, what I found over a process of elimination, I basically turned down the graphics on the game itself. It hasn't seemed to have a noticeable effect on the gameplay or the visual effect of it, which is very, very good, but it has stopped the crashes happening. So if you buy it and you find it's crashing all the time, go in, turn the settings down from maximum to sort of midway through, and you never know, that might be enough. Because I did actually try and give it back to Steam, but I'd gone past the 2 hours. Apparently you're allowed to play for 2 hours, and if you exceed that, they won't do a refund. So anyway, I kept it, I turned it down, and actually pleased I did keep it. Let's hop over to the game and I'll show you a little bit about it. So here we are in the load-in game for Expedition Vikings, and this is, I believe, developed by a Danish company, small independent game producer, and it's actually a really nice game, visually interesting, good gameplay, great story play. So there's a couple of things that I think could be better, but on the whole, it's a really cracking game, and I've thoroughly enjoyed playing for quite a lot of hours now. So the scenario is that you are the first son of a Viking warlord who is killed in Britain, and this is the period of the Viking invasions when they were rampaging across Great Britain and across much of Europe and even down into the Mediterranean, Africa, and some believe, well, in fact I think it's not some believe, it is true that they did also get to North America. And so the scenario is that your father has died, left your clan, your group, in a very precarious situation, poor, hasn't been invested in terms of the wealth hasn't been put into the settlement that you own, and it's down at heel basically, and it's up to you to rebuild the glory of your clan, of your group, to take your way through life, to show, to explore, to rebuild your clan into a viable thing, ultimately go back to Britain and either find trade routes or conquer territory or what have you, to try and bring your prestige up. And you do so with your own character, which you develop, and also by recruiting other characters. Now, I played about, I don't know how many hours of it. I now have a group following me around, a band of brothers, if you like, of about 11 strong now. Now, you can typically only use 5 in any battle, but you can swap and change between them, and they all have different characteristics and strengths and weaknesses and so forth. So you can build your clan, your group, according to what you're going to want them for. So let's just show you a few options. If I hop into the new game, it's a really good, they've obviously put a lot of effort into the how you work this, and the visual effects of it and so forth. So here you go, typical role playing. You have the opportunity to create your character. This is you for the rest of the game. So you can be a man or a woman. Ooh, that's an interesting noise. Ooh. No, stop it, Dom, stop it. Oh gosh, he's a fearsome looking beastie, isn't he? Anyway, different people. He looks very, very Hollywood, doesn't he? Looks like Thor. Here you go. So all different characters you can become. He looks just weird. You can change your colour complexion, you can change your eye colour, blah, 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 blah. All the normal things you'd expect. Change the names if you want, you can just randomise them if you want. There you go. You can also change what they look like. Are they thick build, large build, medium build? I'm going to make him a big, heavy chappy. Is he scarred? Is he shaven? Has he got a beard? Oh, that's a pretty good beard. Look at that. Yeah, I like that. That's a bit monstrous. Ponytail or not? Ooh. I'm getting excited here, and I'm not actually planning to use this guy. Anyway, so there you go. You can change all these things. You can decide what you want to look. Change his colour scheme if you'd rather him be a different colour. All that's good. If you don't want to do that, it's a randomised thing. Now, this is the important bit. So this is your skills and stats. So you start the game with your primary stats, which are basically normal ones of strength, endurance, finesse, perception, and sense. And what you choose will reflect how good they are at certain things. So strength is the thing about determining base damage. It's the most effective thing for using axes and swords. It affects physical resistance, so it's essential for warriors. Basically, everything starts at 5, and you've got 4 extra points to put in depending on how you want to change your character. Endurance is about hit points, how strong you are, your base damage reduction, the chance to block things, stamina, so forth. Again, a good trait for fighters, frontline fighters. Finesse is a bit like is more useful for things like knives, spears, better chance of getting criticals. Important for fast-handed, they're saying rogues, so quick, nimble kind of characters, if that's what you want to play. Perception determines your accuracy, so this is for your archer or your guys that are going to start throwing slingers or so forth like that. Perception is where you want to invest. Sense is around mental resilience, stamina. It's useful for health. There are sort of medical type characters who can help rebuild your health points. They tend to have high sense. So we're the leader of a warband. The only thing to do when you're a warband leader is to be a fighter, frontline fighter. So we're going to put extra 2 points in both of strength and endurance, because those are the best characteristics. And you can see as we do this, things changed here. So that means hit points are now 108, accuracy of 75%, block chance of 24%. That's gone up, hasn't it? So yeah, every point I put on goes on 2% up there. critical hit chance is only 5%, so not a good chance. But you can increase that. Damage reduction, physical resistance, mental resistance, and stamina, all in there. So there's a little description about you as a character. Now the next thing is your skill points. You have 50 skill points, and they are split across sort of weapon skills. Sort of, I guess, how do you describe these? There's more sort of, so these are the actual weapons you use. These are the skills of using them and improving them. This one is more around other attributes. So you've got things like protecting somebody beside you, bearing your arse and taunting other players, and so forth. So all good skills. Oop. Then you move on to things like constitution, things like diplomacy, ability to hunt, heavy sleeper, so you rest. And the way you recuperate in this game is by going to a camp and sleeping. So you have a number of sequences in the night where you can do various activities, but you have to have at least 2 sleep sessions unless you have this option, in which case you only need 1. So all these are different skills. Then there's a 4th or 5th section, which is again some different sort of, I guess, some colour that you can put around characters. And you can see some of these are greyed out, because to do this one, for instance, point blank bow skill, you need to have you need to have a bow rank of 1. So some things only light up when you have the necessary skills, and indeed some of these weapons only light up if you've got the necessary strength, endurance. For instance, if you have a low strength, you probably can't use the sword at all. You'd have to use the knife. So we're going to equip him. One thing I have noticed is bows are very, very powerful in this game, and you need characters to have shields, particularly your main battle guys, because otherwise you can find in a battle, the first, before you've even got into a chance to swing a sword, they've already taken half your health away by firing arrows at you. So shield strength is good, and you can upgrade these. See, I've got them at 50 points. I'm going to go upgrade on that. Now it's gone up a little bit more. It's now 9 points to upgrade to the 2nd level, and I might leave it there for the moment. I've also got a sword skill here, so I want to use that. That's 6 to get the first one, and you can see that increases my base sword skill by 7, and gives me a special function that I can use in combat. I'm going to use another one like that. I'm now on 20 points. You don't have to use all these, you can use them later in the game if you so wish. Let's have a look at some of the special traits. So we already start with this one, which is interrupt, which is a free thing for missile. If you're using missile troops, you can basically interrupt the enemy movement. There's dual wielding, so if you want to use 2 swords, but I found that a liability, if I'm honest. Anticipate an opening, so that means you can respond to something that's happening. Rebuke is where you kick an enemy away, so forth. So I don't think I'm going to bother with these just yet. I've got other skills here. So this one's gives your whole party a bonus. This one's leadership. This one's protect, allows you to basically use your shield bonus with the troops next to you in combat. Spot traps. Tactical move, I get that automatically. We'll show you how that works. Taunt and witchcraft. I don't think I'm going to bother with any of those just yet. These ones, so you've got constitution, so basically less risk of infection. Cooking skill, crafting skill, diplomacy, guard, heavy sleeper, hunting, preserving, because food goes off, so you need to preserve it, right? Not a great glorious thing for a warrior. So I'm going to give him hunting, because I think that's useful, and it only costs 2 points to go 1 level. And I'm going to use heavy sleeper because I'm not going to use heavy, because that's 10 points. That's a lot to use up this early in the game. So I'm going to use just what should we do? It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Maybe we'll use guard as well. Okay. Leaves me 16 points left. I am going to use charge because I want him to be a warrior, and there we go. And I'm going to leave his last 7 points unsubscribed. You have to use all your primary stats up, but you don't have to use all your skills. You can wait and use them later. So there we go. It says you haven't spent all your points. I know that. So here we go. Funny language, isn't it? Our clan must prevail. It's a weird accent they put on that lady. Anyway, so here we go. We're into the game. Don't worry, I'm not going to do a walkthrough on it unless somebody particularly wants me to do a walkthrough. It does sometimes take a while to load up between the different screens. That's another thing I would say with this. That could be my computer, to be fair, but it does seem... does seem to be the case. Aid me, Odin, in efforts to bind the struggles of my bygone times as a glimmering light on glass. Oh, okay, if you say so. So here we go. So into the game. It's the evening after your father's funeral. And this is how the game works. Interact with the click buttons. This time I've only got one choice. Did you close your eyes? Blah, blah, blah. Thanes of the neighbourhood clans have come to attend your feast in your honour. Your father may not have been the most successful Thane, but as a warrior he commanded the respect of many. Guests are filling your longhouse. The Thanes arrive first, each trailing a modest group of warriors. So here we go. This is sort of interaction. So your mother leans in to whisper a few words of advice before she takes her seat. You should greet each of the Thanes before the feast begins, but listen well to the words. Now, this is the kind of thing, it gives you tips and ideas. Now, the problem, one of my issues with this, it actually doesn't really seem to matter how you deal with things. Things happen anyway. So you could decide to, but how you come across could make things happen quicker. So how you respond, you've got to get the character that you're going to play in your head, like all role-playing games. So if you're going to be belligerent, aggressive, then your responses need to be like that to be consistent. If you're going to be a much more conciliatory type character, then, you know, respond that way. There we go. So we're in here. We are, where are we? There's me in the red here, and this is a typical view. So you've got all these different characters here. These are the different Thanes, and you can see that there's a little blue target thing there, which means that's where I need to go next. And you can see I'll come down and talk to this guy here. The little writing thing means he's got something to say to me. He's the Thane of a slightly larger clan that borders your lands to the east. He wears a solemn expression and nods heavily when you approach him. And he says, your dad is in Valhalla now. There's no doubt about it. He died doing what he loved. But while feast among the heroes, you're left here to sort out the pieces. You've got your work cut out for you. And then you can respond. You spilt Earl of my father at his own funeral? What do you mean? So I'm going to be belligerent. And the old chieftain said, hey, don't worry, he excelled at what he did. He was great at fighting. Didn't really care about anything else, basically. So I'm saying, and he's saying basically, you know, you got to watch your back. And I'm saying, my options are, surely you're not expecting your clan to leadership to go uncontested. And then I can say, I'm the rightful Thane. We'll sort it out in a traditional way. Nobody in this clan is more suited to lead than me. I'll win them over. I know how many disagree with my appointment, but I'll be a difficult. I'm going to use the first one because that's more belligerent, which is my character. Good. Worst problem in this is solved with the tip of the sword. Blah blah blah. So there you go. And you move around in the same way. These people. This is somebody else, another character. This is your brother, elder brother. So again, we won't go into all of this. Some of these characters you can't interact with. So here you can see it's red, and there's my mother again. So we'll just quickly scan through some of these, and I'll get you onto something that actually happens. Blah blah blah. So that's the next one, and there's another one over here. I think this is. Here we go. Distant cousin.
Our condolences on the
he actually
passing
talks.
of your father. At least he died the way he would have wanted. He will be feasting with the gods tonight.
There we go. Now, you can, by clicking on the Alt button, you can see things that you can interact with. So here I can go and have a look at this. It's got the eye symbol. A rabbit stew bubbles over the fire pit, spreading delicious smells throughout. Right. So I've done him. I've done this one. I haven't done. Let's go and talk to this one. Right. Just gonna scoot through all these options. There we go. Right. Let's just go to the end of this bit now. And you get all these different things going on in the background. And there's subplots going on, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to go and sit back in my seat. Following the initial meet and greet, everybody toasts your father and digs into the meal. Food covers every inch of the table, and freshly brewed mead seems to flow endlessly. Following the initial meeting... Oh, that's already said. Right, okay. So he heads outside. In short order, the door flies open and the doorway is filled by Utar, sword in hand. Outside you can see his brother standing over the prone form of Kettle. Utar looks around the room with disgust. Such a splendid feast for such a shit thane. Utar gazes on you, raises his sword to point at you accusingly. Your family had the chance to earn our respect, and you wasted it. Come outside and defend your honor, or we'll burn this hall to the ground. And then girlie here jumps up. She's a shield mate, and actually she's one of your kin. Jumps to her feet and holds a knife. Her voice is seething with disgust. Utar, you miserable drunkard! How dare you attack your thane's honor during his own feast? Your family will pay for this. Utar turns his back and is already walking outside as the other guests turn their gaze to you in anticipation. Your mother leans in. You have to handle this. If any other thane thinks you're too weak to deal with such a blow against the family's honour, this will not stand. Are you with me? And then Nephi, you stay here, I'll handle this. So there you go. So we're going to go out and have a fight. So we have to pick up our weaponry, which are all here on the hook. Again, you can see a little golden disc, and here's what I have. I have a sword, I have a shield, and I have a bow. That is it. So what you can do as well, you see down here this chart, you've got your satchel, which basically shows you all your equipment. Now one thing I didn't realise at first is you have to move these into slots. So that's your hands, that's your right hand, and this is your left hand. So I put shield here in the first slot and sword in the first slot on that hand, and bow and empty, because obviously you need two hands to fire a bow, so you can't use a shield. Simples. I have mead, which helps with increasing strength, so I'll put that there. but I have no armour, I have no helmet, and I've not a secondary weapon here at all. So there you go, you can see all that. You can see my girlie here, she has no equipment either, but you can see if we look at her stats, let's go into her stats, here we go, by clicking on the little helmet thing you can see their stats. So she is not as strong, she's a 3, but she's very good at endurance, which means she's good at critical hits and hit points are strong. She's got 10 on finesse, which is why she is a spear lady. She uses a spear and a knife and is good with it. Only 4 in perception and 5 in sense. And you can see all the different things. These are her individual skills. She's got 2 on her knife skills and 2 on her spear skills, and she's also got all these extra bits here. So there you go, and you can see mine. You can look at your own character, your own character here as well. So there you go, interesting. Other things up here, you've got your current mission, your current quest. So it tells you what you've completed and what you need to do yet. So I've got to confront the son of Elfin, whatever his name is. This also gives you an idea of your timelines. There's a time limit to do certain things in the game. So this is your clan, so I'm respected by them 50%. And Reeb, which is another town to the south, neutral, nothing special. And that one just gets you to save and what have you. It will save periodically as you go, so the autosave happens. Right, so I'm equipped, so let's go outside. Let's go outside. Again, slow load, slow load. Of course, very slow. Here we go. Most of the guests follow you outside and form a half circle behind you. You're dimly aware of the other thanes muttering amongst themselves. She runs over to help your brother back to his feet. A streak of blood runs from his hair down his cheek, but he still looks like he can still fight. 4 against 1. Is this what sons of what's it considered a fair fight? Utah's brother Tosser sound sneers. He sounded drunk. Shut your mouth, woman, he started it. And then you got response. So I'm being aggressive. You're outnumbered unless you want to crawl to the other thanes for help. So another chap, this is my cousin, he steps in to help. So I now have 2 people. You can see it saying he's now following you. So now we're into the fight. Now this is how the combat system works. You can see we're the blues, the enemy are the reds. You can hang your cursor over there, you can see a little bit about them. He's an archer. Archers are powerful in this game. He is a hunter, so you know that he's good with bows. This guy over here is a healer, so they can repair hit points. So healers and archers are priority targets for your archers if you have any. This guy's a scout. You can see the untrained, he's not very good. This guy is a level 2 experienced warrior, so he is pretty good. So this is how, oh, I was going beep beep beep, going crazy. Never mind. So you have here's me. There we are. You can see I'm a 2nd level defender. These are my traits. So I have the ability to tactical move. So everybody has a defensive kind of move, if you like, that you can respond to somebody coming close to you and have a free hit. So if you click this, it means they can't use that, but it's to slow your movement. I also have ready, which means if I don't do anything that turn, I can click that and I'll hit something that comes within move. And I have my charge move. So I'm going to click charge and I'm going to go there. Remember, it's turn-based. There you go. Took a big chunk out of him. See, his health bar is dropped by, well, it was 104. It's now 39. If he had weapons, if he had a shield, he'd have a separate bar for that. And you'll see when he hits me what happens there. Here's my girly. She's got a spear which has a range of 2, so I don't actually have to get close to do that. She also has this special thing, extend attack, which allows me to attack from 3 away, but only does 75% of the damage. Has a death blow, but not with this weapon. Has an interrupt, but not with this weapon. She has a feign, so move to the other side of the target and make the target spend its attack of opportunity, and tactical move. Everybody has that. So I'm going to try and poke him with the spear, and you can see in his health bar is glowing red, which means I should kill him if I hit him. There we go. He's down. Now, what I'm going to do next, you can also move after you. If you haven't used all your movement points with the attack, you can move. So I'm going to move him and get her into cover from this archer. This archer is here. Could cause me some grief. I'm going to move myself down to here. There we go, and get behind this wagon. So she's behind this rock, I'm behind this wagon. The archer shouldn't have a shot on either of us now. Next I'm going to do my archer. See the broken arrow? I can't see their archer. I can see this one. I've got a 95% chance of hitting him as he stands. This guy I can't see. So if I fired at him, 95%, you can see the health bar is just over half if I hit him. Or I can move over and try and get a shot at this guy, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to move over there. So the green allows me to have an action as well as move. Yellow means I can't do anything other than just move. So now my hit chance has dropped considerably, but I do have something called a ranging shot. So I can basically, helps me to spot things and helps my accuracy. So I'm going to do that. Fire a ranging shot at this guy. He's spotted. Now, I still can't hit him. Oh, you idiot dumb. Okay, so let's go back on this chap here. Shoot on him, 95% chance. There we go. And we harried him as well, so that will affect his ability to do things next go. The cousin, he's just going to charge in and try and cut this guy down. There we go. Done. So I've now moved everything I can move. I have four characters here, and you can see he can't do anything. She's got a little bit of movement. He's got a little bit of movement, and so is he. So I'm going to move him further into contact here. There we go. Now I finish my turn. That's my go. We hit end turn. It's turn based, remember. He's doing demoralizing thing. The archer's coming round to try and get a shot at me from point blank range virtually, and you can see this blue thing is my shield, and actually I deflected that shot or blocked that shot. So I'm here. I can now charge again, so that's what I'm obviously going to do. Charge in there, swing the sword. 53 of his what did he have? 96 health, so that's pretty good. Going to bring her around behind me there and poke over my shoulder. Got him with a critical hit as well. So that's that. Let's move these guys on. This guy here is going to have an attack on this one. There we go, nicely done. And you can see here on my characters I've got a green dot and a pink dot, which means he's got things he can do still, basically. Take a shot at this guy. It's still 35%. I could fire quick shot, which means I get 2 shots, but the 14% chance of hitting, or I do 1 shot with 35%. Well, it's got to be that really, hasn't it? So we'll take 1 shot, 35%. Now in combat it's a really good idea, that's me done for the turn, it's a really good idea to support each other as much as you possibly can. I'm behind him, I'm going to use a charge move. I'll get odds because I flanked him, you see. Because he's got someone behind him as well as in front, means I get an attack bonus and I chop him down. So there you go. At the end of the game, end of the battle, you get results. So it tells you what, you know, this guy already had that injury, so it's not got any worse. Nobody else has any new injuries, and it will also tell you if any of your equipment has kind of got a bit dilapidated. So we haven't killed him though. He groans as he tries to sit up. His surviving brothers are slowly getting to their feet as well. None of them has any fight left in them. And then girlfriend regards the survivors with a mixture of disdain and sadness. What do we do with them? And I can say execute them or let them go. So obviously I'm being ruthless, so we're going to execute. There we go. Watch them do this. Whoa, grim. Nice blood, nice sound effects of knives going into bodies, isn't it? So now I get challenged by this guy. Anyway, you get the picture. And he's now gone off because he's going to challenge me. So you get the point. Now the other things you've got here is a map. So this is the village I'm in. These are points of interest. These are drop-off points to go into the bigger map. There's a burial site, drop-off point again, witch's hut, camp, and there's me. So the other thing you can do with your quests, so you've got something to prove, is basically my current mission, and I can click this and it will do tracking, and it will show me where I need to go on the map to do these things. So you can see the gold disc is telling me actually I have to go back into my longhouse to get that. So that's as good as it, that's as simple as it is. Oh, I have to go and talk to her. That's the game basically. It's a turn-based thing. You pick up equipment, you pick up team members. Say my group is I think 10 or 11, I forget now where I am. And basically the first bit of the storyline is that you have to secure your power base. So you have to beat off the rivals, either kill them, secure them, what have you. You then move into a phase of trying to build a ship or collect extra clan members to go with you to Britain, to go a Viking. And that's where I am now. So let's hop over and I'll show you where I am in the game itself. So here we are, we're a bit further into the game. I've now collected a motley crew of characters. So there's me, this is a different me from the one we just saw. There's the cousin that I was challenged by, so not spoiling, but there's the girl. This is a new lady here with me. This is a witch, and that's my brother, the archer. So you can see I'm now, and as you explore, this is a new area where I am. You have to uncover the dark areas where you haven't explored. As you uncover things, you find new sites. So the hermit's house here, small camp, meeting site, etc., etc. And you can just click on where you want to go and it'll find its way there. There we go. And we found something to fight. What have we found to fight? Don't know. Can't see anything. It does have view range, so you know you do have to be conscious of that. Oh, okay. That's a bit of a bug. So one thing I will say is it rarely do you get anything killed. It tends to be things are stunned. Which is kind of a bit, well, it's good in a way that you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning, but it is a little bit frustrating because you just want to, you know, surely if you fight somebody and you chop them, you hit them with a sword, they're going to die, right? But they don't always do that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And the other thing I've noticed is that sometimes you'll be playing the game, and there's a course of action, and you take it, and then they still push you towards the other one. If that makes sense. So here we are. This is home territory. So it's a bit more basic, this map. This is no, not that one. Here we go. There's my home. There's my home there, homestead. And these are camps that you can recharge your batteries in, find food, find other things, and you discover them as you move around. There's the other town of Rib. I am all the way over here. There we go. So I can move to this campsite. I need to, because I've actually got 7 people in my party, and things happen as you move along. And you need to do things to sort things out. I won't go through all the different discussions. So let's get into the camp, and I can show the other function of the game. Do you want to leave the campsite and enter the plain campsite? Yes, I do. Because you have to go into the campsites to get food, because your clan, your group gets hungry, and also repair injuries, and also repair equipment, although you can do that in cities. So here we go, we're in the city, we're in the camp, sorry. There's all my members of people I've got now. I've got 7 in this clan. There's me, different leader to the one you saw earlier, and it tells me reminders. Such and such has got a light puncture wound, he's got a laceration, he's got a small fracture. A couple of my shields are a bit damaged, so they should have 5 strength, they're down to 3. This one's should have 8, and it's gone down to 7. And it tells me 4 of my men have available shifts, and 4 lots of meat will spoil in the camp. So you have the night is split into 4 sections to fully repair, to be invigorated for the next day. Unless you have that heavy sleeper, you have to use half of those, 2 of them, as rest. The others, you have various options. So you can see here, depending on your skills and what you're good at, you can do this, and these are attributes you can put into the character. So guard is one, hunting is another, and scouting is a third, which everybody tends to have, and you can get better at it depending on your skills you've put into the character. But you do need to make sure you got 2 rests. So, and this one, my guy is guard, and you really need to make sure you've got somebody guarding every session. So I've got him guarding the first one, Gunnar is in the second, this guy's the third, and she's 4th. Now some camps you go to are not secure at all, in which case you might need 2 people guarding, but you can play that by ear. You can click auto assign, there we go, and it automatically determine who should be what. Also, if they're injured, they tend to do less than they previously could. So I need to have I not got any? Oh, here she is. This is the girl. So she's got heal, and she's got witchcraft. So I'm going to do heal, and she's got a lot of patience here, but they're all lightly armoured, so I can do well, she's picking on her first because she is the most badly injured. Okay, why is it not giving me any option? Let's come out of this and try again. Heal. There we go, accept. So you can see that she's got the character there. I'll do another heal to repair somebody else. Let's do, yeah. Oh. Try that again. Heal. Right. It tends to choose the next most damage. Now I can't use her last 2 slots because she needs to sleep, or she'll get worse. I think this one has, no, that's preserve. Okay. So we now have 2 of our characters being patched up, but they're still through here injured. We also got the shield to repair. Now, if memory serves, this guy has a repair skill. There we go. So he can repair all of those if I have scrap material which you salvage, which I find as we're going around, to do so. So he can do that. It will cost me 3 salvage, but it means these shields will go back up to full strength with one of my slots. Okay, so myself, I'm going to send out, I don't really need any meat. No, I'm probably going to do guard with him, and this one guard as well. This one get him to cook. That means food goes to the, basically gives a bonus to our troops, and he's going to guard the second session and sleep. This lady is going to preserve foods and then sleep. This guy is going to sleep, then he's got repairs, and then he's going to guard. So I've got somebody covering every slot in terms of guarding. Kettle is going to go out hunting and then sleep. Now she doesn't need to do, but she's got no real skills. So in which case, and this is where the trade-off comes, so I'm better off making her sleep there. He can only do that too. Okay. There we go. And there we go. So it's telling me that 3 of them haven't got anybody treating their wounds, but I can't do anything about that. I only have one guy with health. I think that she has it, but because she's injured, she can't do it. Yeah, no, she can't either. So I need a new healthcare person. So it's telling me 3 of them are injured, and Arkan is assigned to something where I can't actually do anything. I can't produce any result, but that's because I'm guarding. And there you go. So when you're happy, you just say make camp, and the force shifts go through rather rapidly. Sometimes things happen in there, sometimes they don't. So here we go. I've used 1 lot of wood. So basically in the first shift your camp was poorly guarded and 1 wood was missing in the morning. I've consumed 2 lots of rations, used 12 medicines, 3 salvage, 6 meat, and you can see 2 of the characters have returned to healthy from being slightly injured. So there it is. There is, I don't think I can show you. Oh no, I can't quite show you yet. So later on in the campaign, you get a longboat and you head out this way towards Great Britain, to Britain, and there's a whole series of adventures happen there. So overall, I like this game. It's quite addictive, particularly because it's fairly simple. There are frustrations. I don't like the fact nothing really dies. I don't like the fact that you try and choose a course of action and the game kind of forces you to take the one it wants you to take, just in a roundabout way, but it feels like you can play your own game, which is good. You can generate a character in however you want. There's lots of equipment which you can find, buy, build. As you carry on, you get more abilities, more skill points, which means you can go back into your character. Like here, see, I've got 13 unspent points I could use to improve. Say he wants to be a better, I can't, 15. Wants to be a better, let me show you something I can do. So here we go. So he wasn't much use to us in the camp, so I can use crafting. We'll give him a crafting ability. There you go. So next time we go into camp, he can be useful to us. So you can do all that, and you can also assign character points. So the other characters, so she's got 15 unspent, so I can model her how I want her. This one the same, it's got 18, and they go up as they do more things, so that's kind of cool. So you can personalise the game. You also have a gauge up here telling you the state of your party. So I've got 7 characters in my band, 3 of them are injured, but none of them are tired, hungry, starving, or anything else, and they're generally 3 of them are pleased, and different actions you do will change that. So that's kind of cool. And that's about it, to be absolutely honest. As I say, I think I've thoroughly enjoyed it as a game. I think it's been good fun to play. It's visually quite good, simplistic at one level, but actually takes a lot to master. The melee is particularly so. You need to stay together, at least 2 characters together all the time. If you get isolated, you can get killed. Have a couple of archers in your band when you go forward, and somebody you can do healing, because you will take hits and you will get injured. At least with the healing you can recover some of those hit points, and archers are crazily powerful, so you need a couple of those in your band as well. So ultimately, there you go. That is Expeditions Viking. Very, very good little game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Played quite a lot of hours in it now, and I would recommend it highly for those who like sort of historical type role-playing games. The storyline in it is superb, absolutely superb. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'll be back with World of Tanks type videos very shortly. If you want to see something different, or you even want to see some gameplay from this, just let me know down below, and I'll happily show it. Maybe do a sort of run through. It is quite a long game though, so it's probably not ideal for that, but I can edit it, I guess. In the meantime, enjoy your games, have fun, try not to take it too seriously. It is just playing a game and playing with pixels, and I will see you again soon. Gamer Dom out.